this is Dodger and you're watching my show. As a random fact for the day, did you know that back in the day farmers used to think that a sign of rain was when pigs would pick up sticks and walk around with them? Now let's move on to gaming news, shall we? So remember how yesterday we were talking about Angry Birds and like half of the comments were talking about Angry Birds and it was just a whole big nonsense fest of Angry Birds. So in more Angry Birds news, over 200 stores in China are about to be opened that have only Angry Birds merchandise in them. Cut to scene of my brain leaking out of my head. Why? 200 of them? 200 right off the bat? What? Why? Apparently it's going to have t-shirts and stuffed animals and toys. 200 stores? I'm so confused. That just seems so excessive to start off with. What? I give up. So a lot of us PlayStation users have wished forever that Limbo was on the PSN. So last summer, it was said, you know, this game is only going to be on Xbox Live as of right now, sorry about that, you know, what can you do? And I think a lot of us were like, okay, well maybe eventually, someday. And there's possible leakings that could mean that Limbo could come to the PSN. I'm slightly surprised about it, just because Sony's been having so many issues lately that I feel like most companies are like kinda concerned about doing business with you. It turns out that the title is probably coming to the PSN in Korea fairly soon. They have a business deal going, they have signed stuff. So that could mean that eventually we would be able to have it here in North America, which would be really awesome. I'm not sure about its expanding in other countries. I'm assuming that if it's starting off in one area, there's a possibility that it could expand to everywhere that the PSN is reaching. It might be like another year before it's even there, which is totally fine. I mean, in gamer brain, a year isn't that bad. And I know a lot of the responses to this are going to be, or you could just get an Xbox, which is true. So at E3, when I was just walking around by myself, I happened upon the new Rune Factory game for the 3DS. I didn't get to play it because there was a dude who was hogging it, but it was super fun, and I loved watching it, and I love the Rune Factory games. You should know that ahead of time. They're like, for those of you who don't know, they're like a mystical version of Harvest Moon, and you like fight monsters and stuff in it. It's crazy sauce. So for those of you who care, which might not be very many of you, but I was kind of stoked about this because it just made more sense. They're completely revamping the marriage system in the game. It's also not connected to any of the past Rune Factory games, so if you wanted to play it, you could. It's just like the Harvest Moon games. You never have to play past Harvest Moon games to play a future Harvest Moon game. So in this new Rune Factory, the marriage system, instead of it being like, people have crushes on you and then you propose to one and then suddenly you're married, there is going to be a going steady. I know. So people have crushes on you and then you go steady for a while. You can go steady with multiple ladies or multiple men if you would like, and then you choose which one you want to marry. So you can like go on dates and things. Oh, it's so cute! I clocked so many hours in Harvest Moon 64 that it's sick. It's a sickness. And the second that I was able to get Rune Factory for DS, I bought it. So, since this game is probably going to be coming out in Japan by the end of the year, I will be buying Rune Factory at some point within the next 9 months. Speaking of Sony and PlayStation and all that, Sony is actually reshuffling their chain of command. There isn't much else other than that to say, but they definitely are taking into account the fact that pretty much every time they have a press conference, somebody tries to say in a roundabout way, so maybe if you had some new leadership, which is really awkward because typically it's the leadership that is running the press conference. So it looks like they're appointing new CEOs but keeping the old CEOs like kind of off to the side, still important, helping out with the business, but you know, not necessarily demoted, but definitely not the CEO anymore. It'll be interesting to see if even more shuffling happens and whether or not it helps people feel more at ease with it. I don't know, I feel like, you know, it's like with Kotick. If Kotick were to be like, hey guys, I'm stepping down. I'm going to be a chairman instead now, and we're going to have a new CEO. I'm pretty sure everybody would be like, whoa! With Sony, I'm not sure how much that's going to affect our feelings on the company in general, because there isn't a personality that we have completely, like, demonified within the community, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say whether or not it will help, but it might help just in general with the way that the business runs. But I will tell you one thing. getting sick of PlayStation news. I know, you're shocked, I know, but it's true. So that's my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or negative response, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I will read it. If you would like to have coffee with me, you can go ahead and click here, or wherever I wind up putting that annotation, and it will take you to my other channel, where I'm gonna drink coffee and just talk about life and other nonsense. But otherwise, I hope that you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye!